All right, what is going on, everyone? Another trade recap. I did not trade. I didn't trade yesterday because CPI a little bit worse market conditions. I didn't want to trade that. I won on Tuesday. I didn't trade Monday. So today we had a winning day, but it's a lot smaller than I would have wanted it to be. Really, like small winning day, right? But it is still a green day for me. I did take a trade in the PM that lost, but it wasn't on my main eval, so I didn't really care. And it's not where I'm tracking my P&L. That was more, I would say that was more of a forward test type of trade, but yeah, it's a green day today, so pretty good day for me. So basically coming into the day, it's a little bit sloppy just on the hourly. Like there's no clean delivery on the hard time frames, but I saw that we had these previous day lows. That's where I thought we'd be drawing towards. Same thing here. So we ended up inverting this 1 hour bullish fair value gap, telling me that we're going to probably come to the lows. I wanted to look for a continuation model down to previous day lows, but market opens right here and then it just dumps. Never really filled the fair value gap for me. And that's fine. But once we swept out previous day's low, we had this unfilled 5-minute. That's where I wanted to target for a long position. But what ended up happening is, so I saw this. This is looking really clean, right? We had this bearish 1-minute fair value gap, and it got ran through. But when it got ran through, it ended up filling the 5-minute in that candle. But let's say it didn't do that, and it inversed it. We got a little bit of a rebalance. I would have waited for this right here just for the risk to reward reason, like purposes. And it would have been like that. And that would have been a great trade. That would have been a beautiful mech model, mechanical, right? But since it already filled the 5-minute and rebalanced itself, I was not looking to take that trade until we can get this 5-minute to get inverse, telling me that we're going to rebalance the whole range. And that's just basically what I backtested, and it works great. So I went long here. I put my stops underneath the bodies here. And we had data highs that I wanted to target. I couldn't target the equilibrium of this range, even though the whole point of the mechanical model is just like pretty much the rebalance of the range. You're trading it after you sweep something. This was where the equilibrium of this whole range was. If you go to the hourly time frame, like from this range, these range highs all the way over here to these range lows, that is the external equilibrium range. That's what I wanted to target after getting this 5-minute inverse. But basically, I wasn't going to have a take profit here because the risk reward isn't there. I was just going for data highs. But once I saw this 15-minute get filled, or before it got filled, I realized that there's a 15-minute right there. And I ended up TP1 right at that 15-minute for value gap. I was in 3 micros. I took off 1 micro and won me around $100. Nothing really that too serious. And then obviously stops to break even. It got pretty close. If ES were to take out data highs, I would have just taken the trade out because of the SMT that would have been in place. But where is it? Yeah, ES just never got there. Is this data highs? No. Data highs were actually already taken, but just these external highs, right? We got really close, but I just didn't take them out, which is unfortunate. But from there, once I saw we failed to take out the highs, I honestly just wasn't too confident anymore in anything because it wasn't efficient. Like we weren't delivering efficiently. If we're not going to get that highs or any of these highs, like what is stopping us here? Like look, what is stopping us here besides like these internal highs? Why would we just like not like leave it open like that? So first off, that made me a little bit hesitant to take anything else. And I ended up just, locking out the eval because I just didn't want to take anything else. I still had another eval that was open, the one that I don't really care about because it's like stuck in drawdown and I already canceled the subscription, whatever. But on that eval, basically I saw we still had these lows, ES was still drawing towards previous day's low. And what I saw was that we came up, we never really swept anything. We just came up and we inverted all these bearish fair value gaps here. I think it was even a fifth. No, we were expecting this 15-minute, but we inverted a bunch of, it was a little bit confusing, really bad delivery. we started to respect this 15-minute fair value gap. And then we inverted a couple bullish fair value gaps on the 5-minute, and we created this bearish fair value gap. And I wasn't going to take this. I didn't even take this trade on any of my evals because it's a pretty bad trade in my personal opinion. Yes, we are disrespecting bullish structure and respecting bearish structure, but I don't know we're coming down to these lows until we can actually start to draw there. Like if we're, like for example, this would have been a better trade for me because if we were to fill this, then get an inverse to the downside on the 1 minute, that would have been better because this displacement and the fact that we're actually getting close, that's what the continuation model is when we're actually getting close, do you get your whatever, manipulation, whatever you want to see to take that trade. And this would have been it, but it didn't do that. And up here, I just didn't know where you're going to go. Like, look at this. This is not like anything I want to trade. I have no idea where we're going to go. I don't care that it's respecting whatever, blah, blah, blah. It isn't efficient, right? We're not really delivering efficiently. But what I was looking at was this trade right here, this inverse. I took this on paper because obviously paper doesn't matter, and I targeted these lows. So it ended up winning on paper. I wasn't going to take it on eval just because it wasn't high quality for me, but it did play out, right? But regardless, I'm happy I didn't take this. Not a good setup for me. Continue to do what I'm doing. Happy I didn't take this trade. It would have been a really bad trade. I would have looked back on it and said like, oh, okay, I would have tried to convince myself that it was good. I know this just because I do this sometimes, where I'm trying to convince myself that it's a good trade by, blah, 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 respecting a bearish 15-minute and inverting 5-minute. Like, we're obviously going to previous days low. I would have tried to convince myself of that. But I just know from previous experience that when price is delivering like this, we failed to take out buy side for no reason. And then invert a bunch of bullish fair value gaps, but then for some reason failed to take it out. And then we get bearish fair value gaps again, bullish fair value gaps getting inverse. It's like, that's kind of just not what I personally like to trade. So that pretty much sums up my day. I won on the day because I hit TP1. So yeah, it was a green day for me. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'm not really afraid to show, my whatever. Where is it? Yeah, a really small day, $50. But yeah, the month isn't looking too bad. We had green, red, green, green. So we're 4 out of 6 on the month, which is not bad at all. If I keep this up, I mean, what are they? I've already taken 6 trades this month, and it's been 13 days, and we have another 13, so it's not that bad. Maybe like if I end up taking another 6 in a month, it'll be 12 trades in the month, which isn't that bad. I'm fine with that. I don't want to take more than like, if I'm taking 20 or more, I'm like, that's where I can know I'm probably over trading. So, this is fine. But yeah, something I wanted to touch on is that, so basically I showed this before, but I like to look for 2 things. The continuation is just when we're getting close and then we get an entry, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty simple. I back tested that for 5 hours straight. This would have been a good continuation, but it wasn't close enough and it wasn't actually continuing to a low yet because it's just sloppy, right? We should have gone to buy side because of these relative equal highs, but I already explained that, all right? But the continuation is basically just like this, except this would have to have been down here for it to be valid for me. But I back tested this model for 5 hours around in one day, in one sitting, and I backtested a high quality backtesting session where I'm very locked in. I'm not taking stupid trades. It took me a while, but I ended up with a 55% win rate and a 1.5 average risk to reward on this continuation model. And like, you could obviously be profitable with that, like obviously, but it's not something that I really like that much. Like, I want to win more than 55% of the time. It's just not my personal, like, everyone has their own preference with this type of stuff, but I would prefer a 70% win rate and a 1-to-1 risk reward, which is what I back tested for the mechanical model, which is just simple, right? Like, a higher time frame manipulation into an imbalance or sweep or whatever, and then a rebalance to an inefficiency or equilibrium or whatever, I'm going for a 1-to-1. And that has a 75% win rate. I backed it again for like 5 hours, and it's what I honestly prefer it much more. It's also easier to spot out. It's just overall, I believe it's way better, but I'm still going to continue to look for both, but I will have to have an absolute A+ continuation trade to actually want to take it. I just reminded myself of that. So, yeah, other than that, just continuing to build more conviction, right, in my trading. Pretty much able to know where the market was going today, right? Even due to this sloppy delivery, like, I just didn't understand because, like, once we're inverting this bearish fair value gap, I think we inverted a 10-minute fair value gap, and we have relative equal highs, and we get really close after, and we started to respect this bullish 5-minute. I was like, we should be able to deliver to this high, right? Like, we should just straight up be able to deliver to this high, but it just didn't. And then once we started inverting these bullish fair value gaps, I was like, okay, well, this could just easily just do the same thing that we just did, because obviously we're struggling to deliver efficiently. And that's not what happened, obviously. I was wrong, but I was right in the sense because I just didn't want to take it. I wasn't confident, and that's how you should be trading. So that pretty much sums up my day for me. Yeah, other than that, appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys next video.